That's crazy. Hey, right on, Trey 601. I don't even know how long I was talking and I was muted. That's tough. How does my mic sound? Is it muffled still? I hope it ain't, bruh. That's crazy. I spent all this cheese on this mic and it don't even work. That's tough. Not even gonna lie. But how you guys feel about Deandre Moore? Do you think he's gonna play in the slot or do you think he fits better on the outside? Am I still muted? That's crazy. All right, for sure. Appreciate it, fam. It's all good. Yeah. Deandre Moore. I mean, he has some cool production at Texas. He had about 500 yards, but anytime you can get production like that, in a conference like where Texas is, that's going to transition well over to the Big 12. I mean, Julian Lewis got his targets. I know Julian Lewis ain't juiced about lose. He never even got to play a game with Jordan Seaton, bro. That's crazy. That whole dynamic duo right there, we never even got to see him. He dips. He's gone. Of course, we got to move on, but what you guys been hearing at other channels, what they've been talking about Jordan Seaton leaving, what's the word? I watched 0 to 60 earlier. Matt McChesky was sick. I watched DMVR Buffs earlier. I seen them talking about Jordan Seaton leaving and how he a cold dude if he used Colorado to use those graphics and then he used that as his goodbye video to enter the portal. He basically had Colorado make him a highlight tape and then he used it to dip. That's crazy. And if he sent that to the other teams too that he's trying to go to, it's like, all right, now make me a highlight tape before I leave. That's wicked. That's nasty work right there. I ain't even gonna lie. They crying like children. Oh yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, it can't get no worse than last year. It can't get no worse than last year. That's a fact. That's why I keep telling everybody. It can't get no worse than last year. I mean, it has to get better. I mean, we can't have two losing seasons in a row. That's gonna be super tough for sure. Yeah, but how Jordan Seaton left, ref. If nobody knew, that's tough. You supposed and the way he did it too, with only 4 days left in the portal. But I feel like he was trying to do his best to recruit people to Colorado too, bro. You feel me? Oh, okay. That's what's up. Seaton never had a pancake, man. They never used him and Hill. They weren't even out. They should have been out there going crazy. They should have had Pancake Central going on over there, but yeah, bruh. You see what he's asking for? Y'all seen 2.5, and then I'm hearing something like 3.5 million. That's crazy. That's insane. 3.5 million in college football is crazy, bro. If you can get 3.5 million in college football, that's crazy. Todd Richardson, he can't rush block. I thought about that early, and I thought about what was gonna make him look good on tape. For him being an NFL prospect and that go offense, it's a lot of it's a lot. The concepts, the scheme might have not just matched what he did best. In the go offense is fast pace, different formations. I don't know if he felt like that was gonna work for him. We'll see where he lands. I'm thinking or Miami, Oregon, or UCLA. Because I seen him out here on the West Coast, but I think he visited USC, UCLA. You feel me? I can see him out this way. He can't rush block though. Seaton, he's a development player too. Like they see, ever since IMG Academy, he's just been the well-developed left tackle. So depending on where he goes next year, how he does, we'll see him in the league in 2027. Now we're looking into who that replacement is for him right now. Um, we got some big boys coming back though, so that can't help. What y'all feel about DeAndre Moore? Who do you guys like? Okay, let's get straight to it. Who are the starters at wide receiver now that DeAndre Moore signed today? And how do you think they feel like Cam Perry, Scooterell, all these guys who signed? You think they knew DeAndre Moore was going to be coming to Colorado? Look at Oregon. Let's say line out 35-15 was good. Look at Oregon having all those high-profile players and still lost. Facts. Belt, Indiana not doing that and about to win a national championship, so the grass is green on the other side for Jordan. That's a very good point. Yeah, I mean, it worked out for Colton Hood. If I'm keeping it all the way real. We have players who left who are still in the portal who haven't even found a home yet. But then we got players like Colton Hood, left Colorado, went to Tennessee in the SEC, balled out, made second team All SEC. They got him slotted going to the Patriots at 31 in the first round of the 2026 draft. He skipped the ball games. He's yeah, and we had Colton Hood. We could have had Colton Hood last year. So can Jordan Seaton do that as well? We'll see, depending on where he goes. Trey 601, Juju not ready. They should have got DJ Lagware, someone that fits the offense. Yeah, I mean, well, we got to hope. I mean, I'm not saying Julian Lewis going to hit the portal, but after yesterday, I feel like anything is possible. But we just got to prepare if Julian, let's say he makes a surprise and dips, like, so he has until the 16th. We got our backup is Wilson. I mean, we got to, hopefully we can go after another quarterback as well. It all depends on Julian now. I mean, he's like, damn, bro. It's tough. Todd Richardson, Scooterrow, Deandre, and Williams. I like that. I like that. I like that 3 wide. I like that, yeah. I can roll with that. William, 1990, he left because he needs to be developed, play versus tougher competition. Yeah, and you know what? I want to see how you guys feel about this because if you say anything other than that, it seems like there's a Colorado group of fans that just come after you, bro. Like, if you say anything other than like their coaching could be better, they might leave for a better program, and just like, no, like you don't believe. It's like, bro, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? Like that? Yeah, like yeah. I think tougher competition, SEC, ACC, the Big Ten. He's gonna look better on tape, going to get some of the better defensive tackles and defensive ends. Yeah, I see that working for Seaton for sure. I think CU is gonna ball out for real. Me too. Me too. Most definitely. I like what Colorado put together, bruh. But I'm following it way more closely this year, so we just don't get a surprise like what happened last year. We have the Caden Salters, the Jaheim Otis, the Sincere Brown, the Martavius French, Tion Parks, all these guys who came over in the portal. We had to like trust the film or whatever, but I feel like this year with Brendan Marion and the other eyes that we have, we're bringing in their recruits. Because let's keep it real, last season's transfers just didn't pan out team-wise. You might have had some good talent, but when we bunched them together as a team, they didn't gel well. And they just didn't work out. They can get better linemen, 3 or better than 1 guy. Yeah, I mean, I hope so, because Jordan Seaton, if he ends up getting paid 3 or 2.5 million, boy, oh boy, college football has changed. 3.5 million he's about to be a junior. He can stay and make another 3.5, 2.5 million next season too. They are getting paid in college football right now. I wonder how much DJ McKinney got paid. I want to know how much DJ got paid. Line on 35-15, and with the receiver core we're going to have this upcoming season, how are you going to double team? You can't. You can't. Only thing I'm worried about is keeping everybody happy and getting everybody touches because the go-go offense is predicated on the run game. So we're going to have some patient receivers, unless we go with like a 4-wide package like we did in 2024. I think Brandon Marion's going to mix it up. If I can see us throwing for 200 a game and running for 200 a game, and we can lead the Big 12 in offense, let's do it. Trey 601, Colorado should make a bowl game. If not, Prime is getting fired. Facts. This is it. This is the year. This is year 4. It'll mean the whole Coach Prime project, and we've been there from start to finish. Ever since he came over from Jackson State, with that, we've been rocking and rolling. Like, Colorado took over college football, bro. What Coach Prime did in Colorado, bro, changed the game, bro. Colorado was rocking, and us as a fan base, we was proud, even though we did way better than Colorado did in 2023, but 2024 set the standard. So we got to get back. We got to get back to a bowl game, bro, and we got to compete for a Big 12 championship. Or whatever we got to do to make that happen. Todd Richardson, everybody's going to eat in the go-go. I want to see that. I want to see at least 4 wide receivers get 500 yards. And if we can get a 1,000-yard receiver, who you think that 1,000-yard receiver is going to be? If we can get a 1,000-yard receiver. Nick Pillow, 56-92. What's good? What's good? At minimum, a bowl game. That's the standard. I mean, I want to be realistic, too, but if we're going off of Coach Prime's standards and what he said the standard is, we can't lower him, and we got to hold him to the standard. That's what he's holding the players to. It got to be a bowl game and a Big 12 championships and a college football playoffs. I mean, that's what I want to see. I want to see all of our players playing in the playoffs. William, 1990, if this year the blocking is bad, I could see Juju leaving. Yeah, I don't think I think our running game was cool last year. We just didn't put consistent running drives together. Like we would throw the ball 2 times on first and second down, and then wouldn't take no time off the clock and send our defense right back on the field. Trey 601. Willie Simons made a bowl game at FIU with less than they have now. There's no way they can't win 6 games. Facts. What do you got? Yeah, yeah. I need. I want to get 9 games. I'm just looking at them powerhouses we got on the schedule. I'm looking at some of them BYU's, Texas Tech, Utah, because they all got better too. So more 1,000-yard season. Yeah, so right now it's looking like Moore and Joseph Williams, but that's me trying to split up the depth chart. Moore and Williams compete for the outside, and then we got Scudero and Mathis, and then we got Cam Perry and Quentin Gibson and Farrakhan and Hakeem Williams and Ernest Campbell and Ronald Coleman. I think Moore can get 1,000 yards though. I think he's savvy. I think he's a route technician. 16 people in the chat. I appreciate it, bro. If you guys can hit that like button too, I really appreciate that too. Help me get this algorithm. I just got the features to be able to go to like do all the live streaming and stuff. So I just got my channel like monetized and everything. So I appreciate all y'all that's helped me get there, bro. But back to the chat. Let me see. You're not gonna have better talent than those powerhouses. That's where good scheme comes in. That's a fact. That's a fact. William 1990. Who's the OC gonna be? You talking about for Colorado? That's Brendan Marion for sure. I think Brendan. So we got 2-1. Brendan Marion is not only the offensive coordinator, he's the recruiter right now too. I mean, as far as bringing in guys, I think with him and Coach Prime, they're working together to bring in guys he likes. Just look at the receivers, the running backs he's bringing over. He's getting guys that he likes. And I think he specifically went after Deandre Moore, too. I think Brendan Marion is a big reason why we got Deandre Moore in Colorado, because he broke down the scheme and how he's going to be able to use him. Nick Pelosi, Prime can't have those lapses in clock management like he has. Yeah, it was crazy, bro. And then and then especially against Georgia Tech, that blew me. First game against Georgia Tech, that was crazy. Yes, big facts. We need to bring in a good center. Yeah, Cash Cleveland, bro. We could have had Cash Cleveland and Seaton rocking this last season. We lost Hill. He's graduating. We had a couple old linemen hit the portal too. So you should do StreamYard, bro. Have some guests talk with you. Yeah, for sure. I'm about to add all of that as soon as I set up all this on my laptop, because I'm on my phone right now, just keeping it all the way real. Yeah, I tried to do that today, and I download like OBS or something. You guys heard of OBS, like the streaming OBS? I have to download that whole streaming service. Lino 3515. So we get that one linebacker from Oregon. I gotta double check. I gotta go on 3 and see who we got. I like the linebacker from Texas though, and I like Bobby Boucher, the water boy from Bowling Green. He about to lead us in tackles for sure. I don't know if you guys seen his film, but ESPN Gideon, he get busy, bro. Right now I think it's gonna be ESPN, and that's crazy. There it is again. So Prime got some corn-fed white boys this time around, 3 stars. Yeah, we need them gritty. We need that in the trenches, bro. I'm with that. I think, no offense, but we got to get nastier on the D-line, bro. We got to get back to, we got to have the knuckle tape. We got to have the eye black. We got to get nasty on the D-line. Last year was it just wasn't nasty as it needed to be, bro. And you would think with Warren Sapp and Joseph Pecco there, I just don't think we had the right scheme to fit Livingston's scheme. We got to have somebody who can command a double team. We need another Chidozie. We got more, so I think it wasn't the money with Jordan. Yeah. I don't know how much Moore was demanding for like his NIL evaluation or whatever. But wide receivers right now are going for top wide receivers in the portal anywhere from $500K to like, Jeremiah Smith's getting like $4 million. So it depends on what his agent was able to negotiate with Coach Prime and the staff. Just, they're looking at how they spend the money way different this year. Nick Pillow, 5692. If you combine the last 2 teams, they could have won the Big 12. Facts, bro. If everybody stayed and didn't hit the portal, even this last season, if we could have kept a couple more players on offense and defense, especially defense, though. Nakai Hill-Green. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Trevor Woods. Trevor Woods. Jeremiah Brown was about to hit the portal last season, too, because he was like, Martavius French and Hughes are starting. Are you serious? And then Trevor Woods. So we could have had Nakai Hill-Green. From what I'm hearing, he could have stayed, but there's somebody that always tells me there's a waiver that he couldn't stay because he was a transfer. He had to leave. I don't know about that. But if we could have kept Nakai Hill Green, Colton Hood, Trevor Woods, we could have put together something nice on defense. Colton Hood was going crazy. Woods was always productive. Yeah, even when Woods was making plays at strong safety, but then him and Shiloh were kind of playing the same position, so they wanted to keep him on the field. So they moved him down to inside the box at linebacker, which he still made the adjustment, but he was better at safety for us too. Like even this last season, we could have found a spot for Trevor Woods on our team, bro. For sure. Even Wassam, you guys seen the receiver who transferred in the portal? He had like over 600 yards. He's doing his thing. Even LeJontay Wester's little brother, um, Jalen Wester. We could have used him in the linebacker room. A lot of the players hit the portal because they was like, damn, we see who they about to give the reps to and the starting jobs to. And I get the concept of like Coach Prime's concept of like, if we don't see it in practice, how can we trust it in the game? But if you were on my live yesterday, I talked about what we trusted to go in the game didn't get the job done, and it cost us games. And then we were just trying to figure it out after that. And then kind of we were rolling with the same players too. I didn't understand that strategy last year. Trey 601 overall, surprised me with these signees. Me too. I would pay Ole Miss, Austin Simmons, whatever to come to Boulder and one more pass in the go-go. Ooh, I don't think we can add any, man, that would be crazy to do more in the passing in the go-go. I mean, right now I'm worried about getting everybody on the field. I would love to see like a 5-wide package with Julian, like with 2 minutes to go, and just, run a no huddle and like let them slot receivers go to work, and Joseph Williams and everybody on the outside. Now, when I break down the depth chart now, just like think about that from a college football player too. I know there's competition in college, but it's like a lot of those kids are going to have to play special teams, especially if they're scholarship players. They're going to have to be on punt return, return, kickoff, and then they're probably going to have packages for them. But the more popular name receivers, I think especially they're talking about Quentin Gibson. I want to see, what role we're going to use him in this offense, especially with everybody we brought in. That safety from Vandy is a dog, super physical, dog, bro. That's what we need, Imagine if we could have kept Bayard and we could have kept Vandy and we got Boo Carter. We got our nickel, our free safety, our strong safety. We ready to rock and roll. Who you guys like at nickel? Who you like at strong safety? Who you like at free safety? I like old boy from New Mexico at free safety. He comes downhill as well. Boo Carter, I think at strong safety or nickel you can't go wrong. But I also want to see Boo Carter on offense too. How was the high school recruiting class this year? We got 2 wide receivers coming in from IMG Academy. One of the brothers reclassed. We got a corner coming in. We got that linebacker coming in. We went heavy on defense. Offensively, I think we got the 2 wide receivers coming in and possibly a tight end. Oh, and an offensive guard and some tackles. I don't know all their names off the top. I ain't gonna lie, but I did a video on them. If you go check my video out, I did a whole video on everybody Colorado signed on National Signing Day. But our class looks good, but it's not we only have like 13 players signed because we have to go heavy through the portal, and especially the positions that we need, we don't have freshman linebackers don't really start unless they're like one-on-one, like they built crazy, Ray Lewis style. So we don't really have freshman linebackers start or D line. Boo Carter is going to take punts now. Facts. I thought that was Q's job and Farrakhan's job, but there's going to be some competition there. Nick Pillow, 56. Man, imagine London Merritt on the 2024 team. London Merritt and McPherson, Alexander McPherson, and Brandon Davis Swain. They all cut. That's the main thing I was saying. When I reply in some comments, it'd be like, let them go, let them walk. It was like, but what if they stayed? Like, it would have been nice to keep them. You feel me? Like, they were starters, and they were, they showed out in the Big 12 last season. Looks pretty good. 3 linemen, all 3 stars. William Knight. Yeah, yes, sir. Nick Pillow, I'm going to check it out for sure. Yeah, that boy from New Mexico had a dog, too. He hit hard, too. Pause. Yeah, that was crazy. But now he comes, I know you've seen his highlights where he comes up and he runs, fits. He's good around the ball. He creates turnovers, and we're going to have to replace that with Slaughter and Bayer. We want to do better than they did last season, honestly. But I think that dog on defense, the leader for sure, gonna be Boo Carter, and old boy from Vanderbilt. He got a crazy name. I forget how to even say his name, but I mean, physical wise, I know you've seen his stature or whatever. He looked like an NFL safety right now. But, you know, he covered. He come up and run fit really good, too. Um, he is a dog, too. And that was one thing I seen with Isaiah Harge. Some of our backup safeties, they had a hard time shedding bigger, pulling guards and pulling tackles and tight ends. They had a hard time getting rid of those. I don't think the guys we brought in are gonna have a hard time shedding any type of blocks. They're gonna be on demon. He is a dog too. Facts. A lot of people so quick to let go of conference standouts. Yeah, that's a fact. And the portal, you know, they want money. It's a market now. So you got a market. You see what other players are getting paid. And if you hire an agent, you get to see like, all right, this DB, he did make all conference. He's getting paid 400,000. Let's shop around and see what we can get. Nick Pillow, if Boo lock in, he can get himself drafted easily. Yeah, I said that in my video. I think the main what's good for him is like him coming around Coach Prime and getting some structure. Coach Prime put 2 kids in the NFL. Travis as well. You know, he can put football first on Boo Carter's mind. So, yeah, there ain't no streets in Colorado for him to be in. I'm not saying he was, but based on the outside stuff that was coming in around Boo Carter, he was involved. You know, he was on. You know, he baby YN. You know what I mean? So we got to get him locked in because he is talented, bro. I hate to see him. So I think, you know, I heard his family's already in Boulder. His mom's, his little sisters, he's locked in. Coach Prime got football on his mind, kind of like Travis, bro. You can get it. Well, with Travis, it was different. And football always number one. But some kids, you know, you need somebody that can get on you, tell you, and somebody who's been there, done that. You know what I'm saying? Who can help, like a father figure. So I think Coach Prime, that's important that we get Boo Carter locked in out there in Boulder. You know, get him around some snow bunnies, getting locked in. You feel me? Like, you know, keep him out the streets. Um, if Boo lock in, he can get himself facts. Tracy Boo Carter is like Shiloh. He likes debunking the system. Dude was toxic at Tennessee. I heard some stories, bro. I heard some stories, but he ain't gonna get that. Ain't gonna ride in Colorado. You seen Joseph Williams and Omarion Miller. Joseph Williams didn't play a whole game. Omarion Miller had to sit out a game. At Jackson State, he didn't play Shiloh for a half or a whole game. Like, you got to be in them meetings 15 minutes early. You got to be at your position meetings. You got to be at the bus on time. He ain't going to have time to cat off, or he ain't going to play. So that's one thing about Coach Prime. He holds his players accountable. He don't care who you are. Our linebackers are going to be our strength on D next year also, bro. Facts. Yeah, Gideon, ESPN Lamprey, Bobby Boucher from The Waterboy, bro. I don't know if y'all remember that movie, The Waterboy, but he going to get like 15 tackles a game. Yeah, Boo Carter is going to take that defense to another level. Yeah, his highlights are crazy, you know. And we wanted to get Boo Carter first. I remember last season, what was it, 2024, we were trying to get Boo Carter to sign, but he ended up staying home out there with Tennessee. But we were like in his top 5, though, for sure. I wish we would have got him earlier. He wouldn't have even went through all that stuff out there. That's one thing you don't really hear about a lot of Colorado players getting in trouble in Boulder. I mean, when you give them some room to be kids and they leave on like break or whatever, then yeah, you know, they didn't show back up on time, but they don't get in a lot of trouble. Ain't nothing in Colorado for him to get distracted. Facts. That's what I'm saying. They probably gonna do some concerts this year. I don't know if you guys follow Brendan Marion, but he takes like the Coach Prime approach. Like, he had DG doing a concert at Sacramento State last season. He had Little Yachty pull up. Like, Boulder gonna be turned. So yeah, we gonna surround him. He ain't gonna have to leave campus, bro. We gonna have it turned for him right there. He don't have to go nowhere. This year, let me see. Platted God 394 was good. This year team is better and closer in talent as Travis says in them class. Facts. That's a fact. Yeah, I like what we got in the portal this year, and I feel like it was last year. It was Corey Phillips. You know, been following him since he came over with Coach Prime. You know, he went over to Memphis. But I feel like this year with Brendan Marion and the connections he has from the West Coast to the Dirty South and just the relationships he has, he's like a younger Coach Prime. He ain't Prime, but the relatability he has, I think that's a big reason why we got a lot of recruits that feel comfortable because he's an X's and O guys. They seen what happened with Pat Shermer's scheme last year. We know somebody who knows what the offense is going to be. He knows he's going to run his different formations in the go-go. How do you fit? He's getting guys who fit into his offense. Not going to be like Shermer. Caden Salter did not fit his offense last season at all. Nothing about Caden Salter fit Pat Shermer's offense. Nothing, bro. Nick Pillow, 5692. Those linebackers are the key. They stop the run. If Colorado can run the ball and stop the run, they have a chance. Yeah, and we got our corners. Colorado got to be a cornerback university. You have the greatest corner of all time coaching at corner. There's no excuses, bro. They should be locked down. We should be able to run cover 0 run twists, stunts, and blitz all day because we ain't worried about it on the back end. We can move our safeties in and out of the boxes we need. We shouldn't have to double team nobody. Our corners should be strapping, bro. Seatbelt. I don't want it. We can't have another season. Our corners was getting toasted last year. I know y'all seen that, bro. Put it, throw something in the chat if you seen the corners getting cooked last season because it was crazy. Travis shut down the whole side of the field, bro, like literally. And then Colton Hood unquietly kept. He was our best. He was our second best corner on the team. He just didn't work out. We let him walk. That's crazy. We got to get better with just letting people walk. It cost us games. It cost us games. I wish they could have kept Nick. He was a good recruiter. Still mad he went to Syracuse. Facts. You ain't lying. Trey 601. Brandon Marion might be the head coach after this season. Deandre going to Cleveland if they win 7 games. I definitely feel like this move is definitely like Coach Prime setting up his predecessor. Plus, it's a bump up for Brendan Marion. But you see how coaches are in the portal, too. He spent 1 year at Sac State, brought in all his recruits. His pitch was, hey, we're going to be here. We're building something special. Da-da-da-da. Next season, dip. It's a dirty game, bro. Like, there's a lot of stuff. I'm not saying that Brendan Marion did anybody dirty, but it happens at the coaching level, too. You bring in these recruits. Their parents trust you or whatever. Then now, if those kids ain't got a relationship with the next coach going in, or you're not their guy, just like when Coach Prime came to Colorado, he told all them kids, y'all got to hit the portal. I'm bringing my own Louis luggage. It was straight up, flat out. It was just what it was. I mean, it's a tough game, bro. It gets wicked on the back end. But I definitely see, could he be Cleveland's head coach? If Cleveland is smart, if they're going to keep Shedeur there, I honestly don't even want Shedeur to stay in Cleveland the way they did him, bruh. Get him out of there. I think the Raiders should just trade for him, trade up, split that pick into 2 separate picks. I think Shedeur just needs to get out of Cleveland. I hope he doesn't stay in Cleveland, bruh. I really don't. I think with the culture I see, Lionel 35-15, I think with the culture at CU, it's going to be tight this year because you have a lot of dogs getting it from the ground up. Yeah, Coach Prime, when it comes to motivating players and just being around somebody, come on, bro. You seen that speech he posted earlier. I remember when he dropped that speech against TCU, bro. Like, nobody believed in Colorado. TCU was coming off the national championship, bro. Like, you want to play for Coach Prime, but I feel like this year he got all those, because players can be cancers too, bro. It's not just that's what I'm saying. It was a collective of everything. They brought in some cancer players who were cancer to the team. But they also had some wrong schemes, some bad coaching, some bad scheme. It was just nothing. Like he said, we're bringing in guys that fit. If you go watch that interview he did with Uncle Neely and Big Dog Chico and everything, he talked about he's bringing in guys who fit. They had a lot of guys who didn't fit last season. You feel me? So, how many days left in the portal? We got till the 16th, so there's 3 more days, but you got to let your school know at least 48 hours ahead. You got to get a waiver cleared for you to enter the transfer portal. So some kids are going to get stuck if they try to, wait till last minute to hit the portal. Nick Pillow, okay. Lionel 35. Question, with all this money being freed up now since Jordan leaving, who they going after? We still need, I want to say, a quarterback. We got a dynamic running back. I know our running back room looks good, but a super dynamic running back wouldn't hurt, because running back is a position where you look at us last season, we had a lot of running backs that went down. Defensive line, we got to load up on the defensive lineman and the O-lineman right now. Skill positions is pretty much set if you ask me. We could still add another safety because I didn't even know Ben Finnissett had an eligibility left. But then you got Caleb Mathis, little brother at corner. He's still on the team. We can't forget about the Mathis brothers, bro. They still on the squad. Tight end. We got about 4 tight ends right now. I don't think we need another tight end. Don't quote me on that, but we got Atkins. We got another backup. What's their name? We got about 3, like 6'5", 6'7" tight ends right now on the roster. I think we're pretty good at tight end. T Voltage 4391 was good, bro. CU players are good fits this season. Absolutely. Last season, I think they didn't understand what these lights brought in the Big 12 and the belt that was waiting for them when they came over from back. They thought you could just plug and play, and it's not that easy, which was brought me back to what I said about just replacing production. It's not that easy to really do that, but you got to have the right players, the right fit. You got to have the right scheme, and you got to bring in your guys, I don't even really think, what's his name? Sean Livingston had a lot of his guys that he needed last season. This season, I think Sean Livingston behind the scenes is getting the coaches that he needs and the players that he needs to get back to that 2024 defense. Trey 601, Warren Zapp kicking the pylons over his coaching malpractice, especially when not one lineman is returning. Warren Sapp kind of does what he want to do, bro. That's Coach Prime. People, I really want to see Terrell Owens get in there. And I like Phillips, but we can get T.O., we can get Chad Ochocinco in there at that wide receiver coach. I mean, come on now. I love Phillips. Terrell Owens been trying to get a job in Colorado, and Chad Ochocinco for sure been trying to get that wide receiver coaching job. What y'all feel about Chad Ochocinco or Terrell Owens being the wide receiver coach up there in Colorado? LSU or Indy will offer Seaton a bag. LSU, Indy, Miami, Oregon. For me, I think USC and UCLA. I think he came out here to the West Coast, took a nice, I'm just saying, we talk about tampering in 2026, but college football, they have agents. It is what it is. There's different ways to wait to get in contact with people. That's how people hit the portal day one. They already know where they're going. Nick Pillow, 5692. Did they change the defensive coordinator? Nah. Sean Livingston got paid. He got a hefty contract, and to buy him out would have been a lot of money to buy out Sean Livingston out of his contract. So he got one more year, but that defense he put out, we couldn't stop nobody last season, especially against the run. Hopefully he gets the guys as well. Not hopefully. He's getting the guys that he needs. We looking at some good guys. I'm not really a D lineman, O lineman type of guy. If you watch my videos, I like covering skill players. I like corners, wide receivers, running back, people who put points on the board. I like the trenches, but I don't really get too far into the trenches. I know who we got, but I ain't gonna say, I just like the skill players more. I'm just gonna keep it real. I like covering skill players a little bit more. Hill Green just wanted the back. If T Voltage 43, if we lost Hill Green because we weren't trying to pay him, that's crazy. Same thing with Colton Hood. I heard Colton Hood, the stories about his brother Brandon Hood, where Brandon Hood was going crazy too. Come on now. Like, a Scully, we gave Ben, yeah, bro, we could have pulled a scholarship out. We could have made a quarterback. Used to hate to see Terrell Owens coming. That's a fact, bro. T.O. used to pop it, though, bro. But T.O. wanted them, and he wanted them. He wanted Coach Prime's good friends, and he knows what he's talking about, and he's passionate. You can see the way he rubbed off on Xavier Weaver. Pause. That was crazy. But the way he rubbed up, the way he helped mentor Xavier Weaver that first season, Travis, not Jimmy Horn, not LeJontay. Omarion Miller, he taught them a lot. So I think having somebody, even as a wide receiver, like analyst, like give T.O. some money, bro. Get him in Boulder. Let's lock him in. You feel me? Like, even though T.O. looked like he could still play in the NFL right now. So Coach Prime gives freshmen a chance. I was going to ask y'all, we know he likes to give the ball to the freshman the first play of the game. If I'm Marion, I'm about to, and people know that, that's a good way to score on the first play of the game. Bring your true freshman in, and we know everybody watches it. They know Coach Prime makes it public. Oh, we like to give a freshman the first play of the game. Give me a nice play action pass. Let's hit Deandre Moore on a play action pass first play of the game. Facts. Coach Prime gets Trey 601 Terrell Owens was AJ Brown 2.0. Facts, bro. Terrell Owens is one of the top 3 greatest receivers of all time. Let's argue about that for sure. Good special teams players. Facts. T Voltage, what's good, fam? What's good? Welcome to the chat. I appreciate you guys. Listen, I just got this feature, so I'm just getting used to it right now. I got this mic. It's been muffled. I'm trying to put this whole little system together, but yeah, I appreciate you guys, bro. Hopefully we can, I'm going to go live following all the Colorado games, depending on my mood, because if they're getting belt, I don't know, I might have to go live the next game, because when they get belt, it's tough, bro. But we're going to cover the transfer portal. I'm going to go live every day, just, build a following, let's tap in. It's, Colorado Buffalo fans, bro, we had a hard year last year, so I'm glad that we got some good signs, because it was tough popping our stuff last season the way we got belt, bro, and it is what it is. Not many holes left to fill. That was crazy. Pause. But you right. But not many holes left to fill was wicked, bro. But yeah, you got it. Good recruiting. Yes, sir. That was crazy. But that's a good point. We're doing a good job. We're on the recruiting trail, bro. Brendan Marion, Coach Prime ain't left the building. Brendan Marion, him, they have a good relationship. Um, I feel like we're building more. We got every. It was a complete rebuild. Everybody left, bro. We seen how many players left in the portal, but that's what was needed because you can't have a lot of players who were there last year who seen um, that the way just the what do you call it, the morale was. Losing brings low morale. Come on, bro. Seaton and McKinney shut it down on us last season, but they had to look out for their future. But this isn't what they signed up for. That's what I was saying, on my videos. It got took the wrong way when I was just like, look, what losing brings a different culture. When you winning, you got a Heisman Trophy winner in Travis. We popping it. We hopping off the bus. We got the chains. We got the wrist up. We look good. But teams also play their best games against Colorado, bro. Like they circle us. They coaches circle. They get to coach against Coach Prime, the greatest corner, arguably the best athlete we've ever seen played football, played in the World Series and in the Super Bowl, bro, in the same year. Come on, bro. They T Voltage, they saw shoes, Todd Richardson shoes. Yeah, bro. It was tough last season. So getting them, it was important to get. It wasn't just about the talent leaving in the portal, but of course we wanted to keep our Marion Millers. We wanted to keep some playmakers that will help us compete in 2012. But we had to get those players who've seen how last season how it went down. We got to get them out. So the next guys coming in, you can't have people telling them like, "Hey, look, Tech, nah, that ain't really what it is, bro. It's something else going on right here. This ain't what you want." Coach Prime smart. He's like, we got to get those disgruntled guys out, those guys who ain't getting no playing time out, those guys. But some players had a reason to. The depth chart was crazy last season. I don't know if y'all can agree with me. The depth chart was wicked. Who we put out there as starters had me scratching my head all over the place, bro. It was crazy. I'm glad we got rid of Phillip. Yeah. I mean, as far as like recruiting and how he put together a team of recruits last season, yeah, it wasn't the best. I'm gonna agree with you there for sure. This season they will be way tougher, way tougher. But I mean, they're gonna do everything different, bro. I wish we could just wash away last season, but the way the media covers Colorado, they gonna let us hear about it, bro. Like, and then now all eyes is on Colorado, from the boosters to the collective, even the fans, bro. I seen fans leaving the game early last season. And them Boulder fans, them Buffs Nation, it's real out there. So we got to get it back right because this is about money too. We got to be able to have sold out games. We don't. Who's our Shador? Who's our Travis? Who's our big time superstars? We need a superstar. So that's why Jordan Seaton, he's a lineman. It's a little different when you're a lineman. You're not. Skill players always get the most praise, the most love, because linemen. Let's keep it real. Linemen don't get love like skill players do. But Boo Carter, instant superstar. We rolling with Boo Carter. DeAndre Moore. You feel me? Julian Lewis. Cameron, ESPN. He got that grit around him. Like the ESPN can bring hope back into Boulder, if you know what I'm saying. They got them a linebacker that looked like he looked the part. He bringing that gritty Colorado. I seen Matt Macheski talking about recruiting from Colorado, because you got to think about it. The culture that Colorado brings, not everybody can deal with that. That's a different kind of culture that we bring. But it works when you winning. It looks crazy when you're not, if you dig what I'm saying. It looks good when you winning. But the way our culture is and how that rocks in Colorado, when you losing, everything is multiplied, bro. Everything is multiplied for sure. Dirt, what Seaton did with the video, bro, that was tough. Todd Richardson, good point. If he had Colorado make his exit video, that's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. That's wicked, bro. But I think Jordan Seaton stayed around as long as he could. I mean, he was the one that was hosting players. He got the Maybach. You know how college visits are, bro. They want to, hop in, live in luxury, see how it is around town. I think he stayed around to help, court players as long as he could, and then he had to do what was best for him. He had to hit the. And if you guys are just joining the live, I appreciate it, bro. Say no more. If you can hit the like button. If somebody wants to send me $1 on Super Chat, I really appreciate it too. I'm just saying, I don't want to beg, but it'll be my first Super Chat. That's all I'm saying. Facts way tougher. That's a fact. The Alien Show was good. Welcome to the chat, bro. Seaton was a diva. He was about himself. Was he? That's an interesting point. I've been a Buff fan since 1989. Okay, for sure, bro. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, he real Colorado Buffs fan. I mean, what part did you see Seaton being a diva? Because I used to see him getting on the in 2024. I used to see Seaton getting on the older heads about not quitting. We got this. Y'all got to man up. Him and Phil Lohard used to really just, as a freshman, I used to see him getting on the upperclassmen. So I'm interested to see why you thought he was a diva, bro. Let me know more on that. I didn't. I mean, I feel like he shut it down last season, but I think that he did his best to stick around as long as he could, bro. As long as he could, for sure, for sure. What you guys think about the starting receivers, though? Who do you guys think, if you haven't dropped your predictions, if you have to roll out three wide receivers